Hi everyone, Nathan here with ATC Cooling and Heating in Kingsport, Tennessee. The last few weeks in Tennessee have been really dry. I even get weather alerts on my phone saying the outdoor conditions are ripe for brush fires. With high temperatures in the 60s and low 70s, the outdoor relative humidity percentage has been in the low 20s. That's so dry that after a little warming by your furnace or your heat pump in your home, you may see relative humidity levels in the teens. Sahara Desert dry. So dry, in fact, that it can be pretty uncomfortable, making the air seem cooler than it is and even cause nosebleeds in some people. Your wood floors may suffer as they shrink, and you may notice some wood trim or the doors in your house not fitting quite right with some unusual gaps. And given conditions like these, hopefully you don't have a log home or a timber frame home. Another condition that fosters really low indoor humidity levels is prolonged frigid outdoor temperatures. Air that is only 5 or 10 degrees may have a relative humidity of 50%. But that same air is capable of holding very little water. When you warm up the air to indoor temperatures of, say, 70 degrees, that air will keep the same absolute humidity in the air, but 70-degree air can hold a lot more water than 5-degree air. Thus, the relative humidity inside your home becomes very low. I used to live near Buffalo, New York, and a month of temperatures no higher than, say, 15 degrees can result in some very low indoor humidity. Oftentimes, my humidistat would give up and not even read the humidity level because it was so low, in this case, under 15%. Very uncomfortable indeed. Now, ideally, you are looking for a wintertime relative humidity in your house of about 50% and a summertime humidity of about 45%. But that is something for a different day in the summertime anyway. So what to do? You could run 3 to 5 small portable humidifiers in your home before you will ever see a difference in that relative humidity. And filling those things 2 to 3 times a day, well, that's just a pain. But in the HVAC industry, we have 3 go-to tools for solving whole house low humidity issues. Today we're going to hit the highs and lows of each type. Now, the 3 whole house humidifier choices are: first, the bypass humidifier; second is the fan-powered humidifier; and lastly, we have a steam humidifier. The least expensive option, though, is the bypass humidifier. Let me show you how that works. I have here a furnace, and I've got my bypass humidifier drawn on one side of the ductwork, and it bypasses over with a duct to the other side of the ductwork. Now, the positive pressure on this side happens to be the supply, and the negative pressure on this side, the return, means that some of the air that the furnace makes pushes through the humidifier and out to the other side. Kind of circulates there and then heads out through your ductwork. There's a panel in these types of humidifiers, think of it like a sponge, and that gets saturated from water, from your domestic water. And as that air bypasses across, it evaporates the water and adds humidity to your house. Excess water is sent down a drain. So there are some limitations with the bypass humidifier. First off, it is a furnace-only sort of tool. Heat pumps don't work well with bypass humidifiers, as the air temperatures they produce are just not high enough to do a good job evaporating that water. Next, the furnace has got to run for the humidifier to work. When it's 60 degrees out, for example, your furnace isn't running much, and your air could be really dry, but your bypass humidifier is not running, so it stays dry. Next, as this option relies on evaporation across the panel, it uses much more water than it puts into your air, as much as 14 times more water. And at the end of the day, a bypass humidifier is only moderately effective. It will raise your humidity levels some, but you may not reach your target. For maintenance, a bypass humidifier requires annual replacement of the evaporative pad, which is an inexpensive part. And installed, the cost of a bypass humidifier is usually around $750. The main market for bypass humidifiers is the Northeast and oil furnaces. They work really well there, as oil furnaces have high heat output, which aids in evaporation, and the cold outdoor temperatures mean that the furnace is running much of the time. Plus, well, water is relatively inexpensive in the Northeast, unlike areas in the desert Southwest, for example. Next is the fan-powered humidifier. These units are similar to the bypass units in that they also rely on evaporation to add humidity to your house. But instead of needing the furnace to run, they pack their own fan and can run whenever they need to. Here's my fan-powered humidifier. It's not bypassing to the other side of the ductwork, that part's irrelevant, and it packs its own fan that spins right here across that evaporative pad. And that means that a fan-powered humidifier can run with any sort of equipment. It'll run on a heat pump or on a furnace. It's more efficient in its use of water. It does a better job of adding humidity to the air, so you're more likely to reach your target. And maintenance is still pretty light, with annual replacement of the evaporative pad to worry about, which is an inexpensive part. Installed, the cost of a fan-powered humidifier is usually around $1,000 to $1,200. Lastly, we have the steam humidifier. A steam humidifier literally boils water to create humidity in your home. Here's my steam humidifier. Here's the water line coming into it, which creates water in the system. And here's my electric line coming from your panel box to the electric element in the steam humidifier. That heats up the water to the point of boiling, and it sends that steam into your ductwork to circulate through the rest of your house. A steam humidifier's water usage is really low, as every pint of water consumed is added to your indoor air. And since a steam humidifier will just keep running until it meets your target, you can be assured that your home will have comfortable relative humidity. Now, not that you would want to do this, but a steam humidifier is fully capable of turning your house into a jungle if you wanted it to. Now, on the downside, a steam humidifier can use a fair amount of electricity, as it uses that electricity to actually boil water. And it requires maintenance every 1 to 3 years that can run into a couple $100 each time. Also, steam humidifiers can be kind of pricey to install, with costs usually in the $2,500 to $3,000 range for initial setup. The most common brands for humidifiers include Honeywell and Aprilaire. Many of the mainstream HVAC equipment brands, like Trane or Carrier and others, also sell their own humidifier brands, though really most of these are just rebadged Honeywell and Aprilaire units. You know, if you live where the outdoor relative humidity gets below 30%, or where outdoor temperatures commonly fall below 35 degrees, your home will likely benefit from having a whole house humidifier. For most homes, I recommend the fan-powered humidifier. It does a great job of balancing its cost with its effectiveness. But for the ultimate in humidification, you just can't go wrong with a steam humidifier. It will always achieve your humidity targets. Now, if you have any questions on humidifiers, or really anything HVAC, leave us a comment here or connect with us on our website at atcservice.com. Thanks for watching.